Good morning, all of you students. Welcome to the session for today. So, up until the last class, we have learned about automation, where we learned about DFA, NFA, epsilon, and FA, conversion between the finite automation, and then we also learned about deriving the regular expression. Right? In today's lesson, we are moving forward to another level of problems. These are problems that are considered to be a little more difficult than finite automata problems, wherein the problems cannot be solved with the help of a finite automata. Okay, so we are going to learn about this. We call this as push down automata. Now, uh, let me give you an overview of how the learning is going on. You see, let me share my screen. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks, Shuken. Thank you so much. Yeah. So now we were learning about finite automata. Just a second. In the class of finite automata, we had what is DFA, NFA, N epsilon, NFA. Fine. And then we were representing them with the help of regular expressions. Okay. Now we are going to talk about, or we're going to learn about what we call as push down automata. Now this is a class of problems where the problem is a little more difficult and they cannot be solved with the help of finite automata. So in push down automata we have finite or non-deterministic kind of push down automata. No doubt about it. We have both the classes of it. We do even have epsilon non-deterministic PDAs. We have them, but that's the next point of it. But push-down automata is also represented with the help of what we call as uh, CFGs or context-free grammar. Okay, we call this as context-free grammar. Okay, now the idea is in simple terms, we can call your this column as a diagrammatic representation. This is more of diagrams, and this is more of equations or expressions. Okay, so for every DFA, NFA, and epsilon and FA, you do have an equivalent regular expression. Similarly, for every PDA, you have an equivalent context-free grammar. So remember, these are all going to be an expression form. The equivalent diagrammatic form are drawn in the form of state transition diagrams. Okay. Now that said, when we learned about finite automata, students, we first learned how to draw these diagrams and then we learned about regular expressions. However, while we are learning the second type of problems, we're going to learn about context-free grammar first, and then we are going to learn about push-down automata. So we're going to learn about the equation form first. Then only we'll be going into the diagrammatic representation. So I hope the plan is clear for all of you. So now we are going to learn about context-free grammar. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, what exactly is a context-free grammar? There are actually different kinds of grammars wherein there are strict grammars. The one that we are learning is a bit flexible, which is called as the context-free. Now, the baseline of context-free grammar can be said to be recursion. Actually, recursion happens to be the fundamental of context-free grammar. Have you all learned recursion, students? Have you all learned recursion somewhere? You know what's meant by recursion? Does
Repeating.
everyone? Go ahead, ma. Yes?
Repeating over itself.
Repeating over itself. Very good. Repeating over itself. All right. Recursion, it could be in math. Yeah, I mean, it could be in math language. Yeah. Oh, no, I forgot. Okay. Right. Uh, Recursion in programming would be better because we are going to be more relating this to programming. Okay, right. Now, the most common example that we take for recursion in programming is determining the factorial of a number, wherein a number is multiplied by its previous and then goes on and on and on. So we have a recursion for factorial. If you remember, let's take an example. We know that the equation of n factorial is nothing but n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times so on until 1. Then n minus 1 factorial is nothing but n minus 1 times n minus 2 times dot 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 until 1. So which is basically n factorial is nothing but n times n minus 1 the factorial. So if we calculate n minus 1 factorial, multiply that by n, you get what is n factorial. So for n minus 1 factorial, you calculate what is n minus 2 factorial multiplied by n minus 1, so on and so forth. So now this is nothing but recursion. And another way of understanding recursion is if you are trying to formulate it in the form of any equations, you can see that the function is appearing on either side. You see this factorial function, you see this operation, this factorial function is appearing on either side. And also students, we will have what is called as a stopping criteria or a stopping condition, wherein in this case it is 0 factorial is equal to 1, because it's going to go on in the reverse direction, and then the moment it reaches 0, probably you can say it's going to be a 1, or you can have more stopping conditions like 1 factorial is equal to 1. Yeah, so that is where we have a stopping condition. So whenever we have recursion, students, a function is going to invoke itself a certain number of times until a stopping criteria is reached. So this is the understanding of a recursion. Okay, so similar to factorial, we have a lot of other recursions. For example, have you heard of this one? Have you heard of this one, students? Okay, very good. Everybody else also? You know what I have written there? The fun part is how do we pronunciate it? Anybody wants to read it for me?
Sir, is it a series of numbers? A series of
Yes, yes,
numbers?
yes. It is a series of numbers, John. Yes, it is. It is. Oh wow, that's nice. That's interesting. Very good. Yeah, that is actually the spiral which forms from the Fibonacci. Exactly. A lot of applications are there for Fibonacci, like this coil that you're showing here, Sean. That's a nice application of Fibonacci. Um, Cauliflower is an example of a Fibonacci. Of course, the shell of a snail, which looks very much like this coil here, is an example application of Fibonacci. Quite a lot of applications are there. Yeah, but the interesting sequence of this Fibonacci is it goes like this. Fibonacci 1 is a 0. Fibonacci 2 is a 1. That's actually a sequence of numbers, as you said. Its first number is 0, the second number is 1, the third and subsequent numbers are going to be Fibonacci of n is equal to Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So what happens is Fibonacci of 3 will be Fibonacci of 2 plus Fibonacci of 1. Okay, and it's one and it goes on. So the numbers are going to be looking like 0 1, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 3 8, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is what is called as a Fibonacci series or Fibonacci sequence of numbers. Okay, but this is again a recursive kind of a problem, because when you want to find the nth Fibonacci number, you add the previous two Fibonaccis. for which you need those two Fibonacci's. And then like this is I mean a very bad problem in compared to recursion, because you know what, it really grows too large. I mean too many number of problems to evaluate. So anyways, that's about what we call memory efficiency and all that. Let's not be worried about that for now. We just want to understand recursion. So most of the, I mean, not to say even most, all of the problems that involve recursion are going to be solved with the help of context-free grammars. Okay, right. Now, in the traditional style, let's take a problem and then let's see how we want to write a context-free grammar for that problem. And now here, students, similar to how we have notations over here, we have notations for context-free grammars as well. So let me show you this. What if I need a context-free grammar uh, to produce strings of the form a to the power n, b to the power n, where n is greater than or equal to 1. Now, first of all, students, as I said, depending on the context of the problem, that is where we are using this problem or what kind of problem we are trying to address, we must understand the notations here. When we say a to the power of n and b to the power of n, in this context, it means a is going to be repeated n number of times and b is going to be repeated the same n number of times. So for example, if you say n is equal to 1, because they say n is greater than or equal to 1, right? Usually, and not to say even usually, definitely n will not be below 0. So if n is equal to 1, you will be getting ab. If you get n is equal to 2, you will be getting a double a, double b. Okay, then if n is equal to 3, it's going to be a triple a, triple b. N is equal to 4 is 4 a's and then 4 b's. Got it? So it's going to keep on growing as we want. So it totally depends on whether we want to have a larger string or a smaller string. Now here, one another pattern that we can observe is that if you watch carefully, there is a recursion from one step to another. Like what? If you take this AB, if you take this AB from here, okay, and just copy it down below and add an A to the left and a B to the right. You know, you take what you have already, add an A to the left and B to the right, you get the second string. Now to go to the next level, take what you have here, add an A to the left and B to the right. Can you see that? Can you see this? You know, this whole double A, double B, you take it as such, and then add an A, add a B. The next level, of course, now you can already feel it. You take the whole of this string, okay, and add an A to the left, B to the right, you get the next level. So if I take the whole of this string, add an A to the left, B to the right, then you're going to get the next level, and so on and so forth. So this is a recursive characteristic that we see in this problem. So understanding this recursive characteristic, let's try to write the solution. The solution is going to look like this. Don't panic. S implies A, S, B, or AB. Okay, let me explain what do you mean by this. Now here, S is called as a starting variable or the start variable of a problem, and it is also called as a non-terminal symbol. Now here students, for all these problems, we must understand certain things carefully. Capital letters that are presented in your CFG, the capital letters of your CFG are these kind of capital letters are called as non-terminal symbols. We call them as non-terminal symbols. Okay, right. Usually the string generation will begin with a non-terminal symbol. Okay. Then within the statement, you will have these lowercase characters or numbers or any other alphabets which are called as terminal symbols. Okay, we call these as terminal symbols. Now, how do we use this equation to generate the string that we wanted? Let's see. If I now here this is an or, this is an or, okay? So either this or that. So if I choose this part of the expression, then I'll get S produces AB, which is the first string that we have. So I can generate AB. Okay. The other way I can go is, let me choose this string that we have. So I'll take S implies ASB. Fine. Okay. But wait a second. This S here is a non-terminal symbol which has to be replaced until the string has no non-terminal symbol. So meaning you must stop only when the string is completely terminal symbol. So in this case I can stop, no problem, but here this is an incomplete solution. This is not going to be a complete answer. So this S has to be substituted. Now what are the options I have in hand? The S can be further substituted with ASB or AB. Now, if I choose to go with this AB, then I'll replace this S with an AB. This A follows, and this B still remains as in where it is. So what you got right now is double A, double B. I got the second string. Now, if I wanted. Now, let us assume that no, I don't want that second string. I directly want to go to the third string. Then what should I have done? Now I guess you would have got the idea already, students. Instead of replacing this S with an AB, what I should have done is allow it to grow further. The S can be again substituted with an ASB. So I'll get an ASB. This A follows from where it is, and the B follows from where it was already. And now I can choose. Now I can say this S can be further substituted with an AB. So I'll be getting a double A over here, a double B over there, and then I get a triple A, triple B, which is basically your third string. So you're like, you can assume this as like injecting the strings in between, you're injecting strings in between, and then you're trying to grow the string as you like. Okay, so this is one possible solution to the A to the N, B to the N problem. Okay, students, so remember, non-terminal symbol, terminal symbol. The equation has to be completed until you have all terminal symbols. Any valid substitutions are allowed, not a problem. Now, another thing to note here, this is an one directional arrow. Don't replace it with anything else, because it just implies in one direction. If you have an S, it can be replaced with these two possibilities. That's the thing. You don't go in the reverse. You just don't go back. Okay? Right. So it's a forward direction kind of substitution that you have to follow. Now, there can be instances where, for the same question, um, yes, Gauri, say something. Just a second. You are already in the meeting, right, Gauri? Because you're texting within the meeting. Gauri, can you hear me? No, but Desmond, I really don't get the problem actually. Does she mean that um, she's not able to see the class, or she's not able to see what is being shared here? Oh my goodness.
Sir,
Yes.
recently I think Teams has been having some problems where there are some people when the meeting starts they cannot see the join button or they can see the meeting but they can text in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Uh, Students, if we like stop the meeting and then start one more time, will it be fine or will it create more havoc? Oh my God. What? Someone removed you? Okay, Gauri, are you able to hear me?
Don't think he can. Oh shit.
Cannot, I guess, isn't it? What is this? What is happening here? Okay, guys, I'll do one thing. I'll better stop it and then. Wow, I think Heng Kang Han is actually doing something for us. But then, how are they able to even type here?
So you can always type in the meeting chat without joining the meeting.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Hell with this. Oh, I see. Okay. Uh, but anyway, thanks so much. Heng Kang Han. I think your post will be a great favor for many of us here. No, that is something, yes, I do want to mention it. And I mean, like, we can't really pinpoint who is doing that, but um, I just don't know what to say about it. It's really bad. I mean, it does happen in quite a few other classes of mine as well. I just thought of not changing the options there, but still students are doing it. I just don't know why. Um, Perhaps sometimes I do see that, you know what, you may get annoyed by a few students' questions there, students, but just try to be a bit accommodating because we never know. People may have trouble in learning, so just kindly be patient, okay? If you feel that somebody is actually kind of annoying, maybe their questions are not really, suitable, but then please try to be a bit more accommodative. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope we can just continue from there, students. Right. Okay. So, yeah. So back again here, the context-free grammars. We have. Um, okay, just a second. Okay, right. Okay. So here, if let's say for example n was not greater than or equal to 1, let's say for example if n was equal to a 0, then what do we do? So which means it's going to be an empty string. Okay. So in that case, we could also write this grammar as S implies A S B or epsilon, wherein epsilon means empty. So your string can be empty. So for example, if a n b to the n can be greater than or equal to 0 means it means that definitely you have a to the 0, b to the 0, which means there's no string at all. So you can have an empty there. If n is equal to 1, you start with an a s b and then substitute for s with an epsilon, wherein you get a epsilon b, which is ab. Okay, so epsilon is, remember, it is going to be just empty, meaning it does not exist or it is nothing over there. So we can definitely use epsilon liberally. Okay, the next thing is we can have many non-terminal symbols as well. For example, let's say we have an equation like this. Um, Yep, look at that. So for some reason, we have a grammar that is given to us. So how do we work on this? Always remember, you start with S, which is your start symbol, or S as the non-terminal symbol. You don't start with an A or a B. Always you start with an S. So S produces what is small a, capital B, or it could produce an epsilon. Remember that. Oh no, I don't have an option there. So let me add an epsilon there. And let me add another epsilon there. I don't want that first epsilon, so I can just take it off. Okay. So AAB. Now this capital A can be further substituted with either an epsilon or a small a capital A, and this B can be substituted with, let's say, a B capital B, another B. And then finally, I can choose to replace again this A and that B with whatever we want to. So we can go ahead with replacing both of them with epsilons. Then we will be ending up with double A and then a double B. So, but we do not know for whatever reason such a kind of a grammar was written. So for every problem, we need to think about how to write this kind of a grammar. Okay, students. So before we proceed to the next question, if you have any questions or any doubts to clarify, you can ask me here. Is everybody doing good? How about question that has multiple base cases, UP, multiple stopping scenarios, multiple, oh yeah, sure, multiple stopping conditions you can. Like for example, I'll show you an example of that. You can actually stop with multiple stopping conditions if you want to. For example, let's say, sorry, let's say I have a grammar like this. S implies A, B, B, or let's say A or AB or BA. Now look at that. You have multiple ways by which you can stop it. Okay. So you can choose whichever you want to take as your stopping condition. It is not necessary that there must be only one stopping condition. All right. Okay. So Shukyan, we can have multiple conditions with an or. Is that okay? Right. What? Just a second. I had already informed that the slides are available in the class materials folder, isn't it? It was uploaded in the last month. Then, then you just please go to the class materials folder of the files tab, and then you should be able to see the slides. Okay, so let's continue with another example problem here. Okay. Try, just give it a try. Just give it a try. What is it? So here you have a question where it requests that you need to write a CFG that generates strings with equal number of occurrences of all characters. They say equal number of occurrences of all characters A, B, C. So here, like, you have two A's, two B's, and two C's. The order doesn't matter. They say equal number of occurrences. So let's say there are three A's, then there should be three B's, and there should be three C's. Nevertheless, there cannot be a string of the form AB, AB, because there is no C at all here. Two A's and two B's are there, but there are zero C's, which means there is no equal occurrence of characters A, B, and C. So this is not a valid string, whereas this is an example of a valid string. Try it for yourself, and then we'll discuss in a while. Take a few minutes, try and see if you can do this. Any string language, it's any string, could be any string, not that example string, could be any string. Sure, Vincent. Yeah. Good trial, language. Good trial. Vincent, was it this one? You wanted to ask something about this? Good one, Mohammed. Hey, it's not a problem, language. Oh, sure, Vincent. Oh, you want me to share it to you? Also can, Vincent. Rather, if you wanted, you can just take it off. I don't know if I can. Yeah, it doesn't work. Down here, Vincent, for you. You can just take it. Actually, quite a good number of tries I can see there. I mean, the ones that are given by Ben. That's a good one, actually, Ben. That's a good idea that you wanted to have uh, different occurrences or positions of S, which is very good. Um, very kind of close. Muhammad Hamad's answer is also very good. Language is actually is updating the answer. The initial one was good as well, no problem. Oh wow, okay. That's nice. Good one. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. I think uh, Tina Darshini is actually trying to replicate the string that was given here. It's not necessarily Tina Darshini. It could be any string. Okay. For example, it could be a string of the form, let's say A, C, B, C, B, something like this. It could be like that, okay? Could be like another A and then B and another C. So it could be like any string, any numbers, but equal number of occurrences of A, B, and C. Okay. Just give me a moment because I'm going to try it on my side. I want to try this first because I'm certainly not sure of whether the answer would be right. So I'm just going to try this here and then I'll show you my answer and then you can verify. Wow, okay, that's nice. Okay, then I'll drop the answer here. I mean, I think I have got. I mean, I wouldn't say mine is the best, no, but an answer that could work. So I'm just writing it down here and then I'll share it to you students. Okay, whatever you have shared is actually a good attempt for the first timers. Very first time you're doing it. Definitely it's a good attempt that I can see there. Hmm. Slowly we are getting into perfection. Okay, so I have an answer to share. Okay, let's just check. Wow, I think Lim Xuan, the closest best I can see right now is. Oh, okay. How to know the best answer? That's nice. Okay. For now, I'll say Lim Xuan's is the best answer. Like, how do we say which one is the best answer? Very simple. What is the maximum probability of cases that we can cover? How generic the equation is. Now, I'm going to just show you this. Uh, and then I'll explain to you why. I mean, this is a potential answer. Again, I wouldn't claim my answer to be the best here, but this is a potential answer I want to share with you. So look at that. It is not necessary that you have to actually put a straight vertical bar and then cascade all the options. You can actually write them separately like this also. If you feel it's very congested, you can do this. The only difference between mine and Lim Chuan's answer is I also started off with an S to give another probability, but I guess that is not even necessary. Lim Chuan's answer will still deal the issue well. Lim Chuan's will still handle the problem very well, so should not be a problem. But just to ensure that I wouldn't miss out on anything, I just wanted to prepend an S over here. So whereby, you are having a possibility of all possible arrangements of ABC, as what we see in Lim Chuan's answer. ABC, ACB, BAC, BCA, CAB, CBA. So we have all possibilities, and then we have every possible location where we can replace the S, or we reinsert the occurrence of ABC. Yeah. So but by looking at Lim Chuan's answer, this column of S will not be required. That's what I can understand. It's not necessary. It is kind of redundant in my case. So this is one possible solution. Now here, students, here comes the golden rule of software testing. There are several golden rules of software testing, students. Do you remember any one of them? Do you remember any one golden rule of software testing? So this is extraneous. This extra S column is extra here. How many of you learned SDM, software engineering, fundamentals of software engineering, SAD, or modules of that sort?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Sean. So any golden rule of software testing that you would remember in case? Finding bugs. It's kind of close. Yes, you're right. You're very close. 100%. Yes, there you are. There you go. Yes, language. 100% testing is never possible. So, 100% verification or 100% testing is impossible. So that said, that's why like I can't claim any of your answers up there to be wrong totally. I can't totally like disregard. The attempts are there to ensure that a large proportion of the strings can be generated. Like if I take Sean's answer, ABCS, there is a high set of strings that can be generated with Sean's answer, no doubt. but there are certain possibilities which we can't reproduce. There are, okay. So that's the way we see how whether. Oh yeah, that's the way. Yeah, language. That's one important consideration. All A's, all B's, and all C's. Yeah, that's kind of difficult to get. If you can get it, it means you can mostly agree that the answer is correct. Okay, students. So there is no 100% way of clarifying if our context-free grammar will be perfectly right. That's it. Any software, any program that we are writing cannot be 100% verified. It's not possible. During any point of time in the life cycle of a software that we generate, there can be a bug that comes up or raises up to surface. Okay, it can happen at any time. It can happen, let's say, I mean, these days we don't use such kind of softwares. The softwares are regularly being updated. However, probably the best example would be Microsoft Teams. Where else do we have to go? Yeah, regardless of the continuous updates or whatever heck they are doing, still you can see that we have unimaginable kind of issues, things that we can't even comprehend from such a big uh, corporate. Yeah, people with very large experience in the software industry. So I mean, like, it's not to blame or whatever. Mm, it's certainly not possible to verify completely. Okay. No, I mean, so the best part is we need to keep trying for possibilities, keep trying how we can improve things, and then gradually we get the answers, more clarified. Let's just go for another one. Let's try this one, okay? But I'm sure this is not going to be lengthy, but maybe a bit challenging. Try this. CFG for pattern. So this is a subset of the previous, a subset. Like, this was accommodating all possible combinations of equal occurrences of ABC, but here it's going to be definitely equal number of occurrences of ABC, but in the order A comes first, then B comes, and then we have C. All right, so it's going to be A, B, B, C, C, triple A, triple B, triple C, could be something of that sort. All right, so n greater than or equal to 1. Give it a try. Let's see. So while you're trying there, I'll also be trying on another page over here. Okay. Very close. Very close, Ben. But then it can create a little more than what we wanted. For example, I can have even four small A's, two small B's, and 10 small C's. You can generate that. It will not enforce the constraint that it must be equal number of A's, B's, and C's. It could be any random number of A, B, and C. Yeah. But it's still a good try though. Muhammad's answer. Wow. Okay. Okay. Muhammad, actually, it will stop when the value of n is equal to 2. Muhammad's answer is good one again, but we can't generate something like triple A, triple B, triple C. We can't do that, right, Muhammad? But that's good though. Yeah, you can generate up to two A's and then two B's and two C's. That's good, right? Yeah, but that's a good one. Never mind, that's a good one. Yeah. Nimshwan, nice one. There again, we see double A, double B, double C, right? We can't generate triple A, triple B, triple C, or 4A, 4B, 4C, right? I think that's good one. Good. Okay. I'm happy to see that you're trying, guys. That's the most important thing. Okay. Wow. Look at that. Sean's answer now. Um, I'm gonna verify Sean's answer. Just a second, Sean. I just need to take it from here. A, B, so it's going to be B. Sean, it's good again. It's good one. I mean, the thought process is good, Sean. But we will be mingling this A, B, and C. Okay, so we need to actually think about how we want to maintain all A's to the first, then B, and then C. Lim, it will take a while, Lim. It will take a while. I mean, this is the very first class, so we need to actually wait, think, and then try again. Okay. Um, hey, plus one. What's that plus one? Oh, okay, right. Okay, then in that case, go for simpler questions. Let's take easier questions then. I thought you could handle this, but if you can't, then we'll go for simpler questions. Okay, so those of you who have already tried, it's good students. We will take back this question in a while later, but I think this is the first class, so I think it's better we redo with some simple questions. So now let's take another problem. I'm going to do this for you. So CFG form a pattern um, of palindrome. Anybody aware of what's palindromes? What's a palindrome, students? What's a palindrome? Okay, that's good. That's good. It's not a palindrome, Lee. Okay. Sean's one is a palindrome, Linguaget's is a palindrome. The idea is it should read the same from, it doesn't matter actually. If you have posted something wrong, it doesn't matter. Okay, just leave it. No need to even delete it. It's like a mirror, exactly like a mirror, wherein it reads the same from both directions. Example of some English words are like madam. You read it this way or that way, it's going to be the same. So basically, the first character and the last character is the same. The second character and the second last character is the same. And the center alphabet is just one alphabet, or sometimes it could be two alphabets which are going to match. All right. So this is what is a palindrome. So whenever you say there is a palindrome, one possible way of generating a palindrome is you start and end a string with the same character. Now they are asking for a pattern of palindromes of A comma B, which means I can start with an A, end with an A, and have the string repeating in between. I can start with a B, end with a B, and keep the string repeating. So if I have a string pattern of this form for now, what I can do is I can take any of them and keep on inserting the strings. For example, let's say I take a BSB, then I can replace this S with ASA, then I can again replace the string S with a BSB, and then you can see that, the string becomes a palindrome. So B to B, A to A, B to B, and then it goes on and on and on. Now, when do you want to stop? Now whenever you want to stop, you have to replace the alphabet S with something. Now, one possible way is you just replace it with an empty. So when you replace it with an empty, let's say I replace this S with an empty, I would have got BB. If I replace this S with an empty, I would have got BAAB. If I replace this S with an epsilon, I would have got BAB, BAB. I would have got something like this. Okay. But if you watch these strings, students, they are all even length, meaning 2 characters, 4 characters, 6 characters. Actually, you can have strings of the form BAB, ABAB, like meaning to say you can have one character in the center, whereas the remaining characters are reflecting each other like a mirror, as correctly said. So you can have one character in the center. It still is a palindrome, like the word madam. So you can have an epsilon, or you can still have an A or a B. So adding this condition helps you to generate a list of palindromes. So ASA, BSB, epsilon, or ABA. Okay. So using this, you can generate all the palindromes. Okay. I'll just share it to you here. I hope everybody is clear with that problem, students. Anybody having any questions about this problem that we have discussed? Is everybody clear? Great. Now let's take a few other simpler problems. Okay. Now this is another simple problem. Read the question carefully. The question says, draft a CFG to generate strings of the form a to the power n or b to the power n, where n is greater than 1. So the possible valid strings are A is a valid string, B is a valid string. These are individual, they are not connected. Like A is one answer, B is one answer, A is one answer, B is another answer. So you can have any number of occurrences of either A or just B, but we are not going to mix up both of them. So how can we handle this? So let's say your start string can point to either another start string capital A or a string capital B. So you go to either A or you go to B, where the definition of A is a small a, capital A or epsilon. Similarly, a capital B is small b or capital B or epsilon. So by doing this, what are we trying to say? We start with S. We can either end up in A or B. Now, if you choose to move to A, then thereafter A is going to be replaced with a small a, capital A, or I'm sorry, I think n is greater than 1, so it's not valid to put it as an epsilon. Just put it as a small a or a small b. Okay, that's more better. So when I take this one capital A, the capital A can be directly replaced with one small a as given in the option, and therefore you can generate that. If you started off with a capital B, then you just replace that B with a small b and you get the second one. If you want to generate more numbers, then just go for S equals to, let's say, a B, and then replace this B with a small b, capital B, replace that B with small b, capital B, and you can keep on expanding the sequence. So I can further replace this B with another capital B, I'm sorry, a B and a capital B, and then you keep on doing it until you're happy enough, and then finally replace the B with a small final B, and then you end the answer. So S can produce all B's. So it can produce any number of A's or any number of B's. Okay. So this is one another simple example. Okay. Take note of that. Okay. Take a minute to look into the answer, students. If you are still having any doubts about the answer to this question, you can clarify from me. Now likewise, let's try a very simple example again. This time, please give it a try on your side. Why can't zero? Lee Long, can you repeat the question? N greater than or equal to zero, is it? Oh, okay. No, the question was given as n greater than or equal to 1. Like if let's say the question was n greater than or equal to 0, then can. Yeah? Exactly, Sean. That's right. Okay. So I hope you get it along. The question is n greater than or equal to 1. If it was 0, then as you said, you can leave it as epsilon over there. Okay, right. Now, similar to this kind of question, students, let's try another one, which is again a very simple kind of a question. All right, not as complex as the earlier ones. Okay. Answer before. Okay, Lim, I have got down to easy questions so that we can first ensure everybody is clear with this basics, and then I'll definitely give the answer for that question. All right, Lim. So, since many of them are not finding it comfortable, first let's try to solve these kind of simple questions. So, draft a CFG form. Um, Okay, this time n greater than or equal to 0. So now you know what is the meaning of this statement here, students. So here a power n be a power n, which means, and it can be n greater than or equal to 0. So starting off with n is equal to 0, it's just b. If n is equal to 1, it's a b a. If n is equal to 2, it's a b double a, and so on and so forth. It could be any pattern of the string. Okay, so just try this. Try to answer this question. Draft a CFG for a power n, be a to the power of n. All right, this is good. All right, language yet? That's perfect. Okay. Brian. Brian, we are not having many occurrences of B, Brian. We just have only one occurrence of B, so that recursion of B is not necessary. And in fact, Brian, that was the previous question, I guess. That was for the previous one. All right. Okay. Wang Zibing. Yes, that's nice answer. And hey, wait, there was like, okay, there was one small error in that. Yeah. Sean. Oh, okay. Sean, I would like to actually discuss Sean's answer, not to find fault actually here, students, but I really want to explain something which I do often, which I do commit this mistake a lot of times, and then I repent. I would say like, why am I doing this mistake? So I want to just talk about this. So thanks for the answer, Sean. Okay, now this is something which we might want to write, and the intention is not wrong. The intention is fine. Like, what happens here accidentally is if you take a b a, we might feel that you're gonna replace the a's with another set of occurrences of a double a, which is like, we assume it's going to be like this side here like that, and another double a like that, and then the remaining terms are all there. We assume it's gonna like kind of work this way. um did I mess up something? Sorry. A replaced with a double a. Oh yeah, sorry, I messed up something. Sorry. This is an extra a. So we would expect this to happen. We would expect this to happen, and it looks beautiful. But unfortunately, it might not, because you have two options here to make. So if I replaced one capital A with a double A, that is the small a and capital A, and if this A I accidentally replaced with, instead of this, if I replaced with an epsilon, my pattern would be lost. Can you see that, Sean? So as I said, I do this often. I assume like I'm going to just replace that same term everywhere, but it's an or. So we do get that not working out. All right. So, but anyways, thanks for that, Sean. Thanks for that answer. Seriously, this is something we must keep in mind. Okay. So sometimes we accidentally try to plan it this way. It's just the plan that we are making. So be very careful about trying to write this kind of pattern. But thanks for that trial. Good one. So, I mean, the one possible way that you can answer this question, I wouldn't say this is the only answer again. One way of doing it would be, um, we call A as or a B. Will this just be sufficient? Yeah, I guess this is sufficient. This is just one answer, one possible way of answering it. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is right. This is wonderful. This is perfect. Yep, this will work. Yep, this will work. Right? Desmond's answer. Okay, can, but what is that capital A and capital B tending to, Desmond? That has to be completed because you're giving only the capital S rule. The capital A and capital B rule has to be completed. Okay, so yeah, so this is just one answer, and then we did see other answers, right? So if you can share the capital A, capital B, then it'll be better for us, Desmond. Um, then what else? This is fine. This is perfect. This answer is good. You can go ahead with this answer. I think Lingwajet gave us an answer already. Oh yeah, Lingwajet gave us the same answer. Yes, thanks Lingwajet. I probably copied your answer, Lingwajet. Yes. Okay. That's great. That's great. So at least like if you are able to answer like these kind of questions, and then that would be sufficient, more than sufficient. Okay. Right. Let's go for another one. Don't stop trying. Keep trying this. I'll just leave it down here. I think this would actually confuse me. Okay. With equal number of zeros and ones. So something like this is equal number of zeros and ones. Equal number of zeros and ones. So it would be an equal number of zeros and ones. Let's just try that. That's nice. More elaborate. Very good. Finally, we concluded. Okay, so that's good actually. So, I mean, Wangzi Bing, Muhammad, you are all almost there already. I mean, I can't even conclude on whether it's totally wrong. I mean, not to say totally wrong, whether it can accommodate all possibilities, but so far it's perfect. Sean's answer, wow, it's yes, just another way of writing it, and it's perfect, and it's done. Okay, so now I guess you can see how the problems are getting more and more comfortable. Okay, so all it takes is a little bit of time and a relaxed state of mind to think and then write the expressions. Remember, students, these expressions can have no more than one meaning. Okay, they are certainly regular, so which means you can't have more than one meaning for them. uh, so which means it does take some time for you to sit down and write. Okay, it's not like literature, it's not like English literature where we can intend to mean several different dimensions in one single sentence. That's not going to happen here. But definitely it'll take a lot of patience and practice to do this. Now, the next thing I wanted to highlight here, when it comes to, let's say, preparing for the exams, can we anticipate a very alien kind of a problem where we don't know, we are going to sit in the exam hall, think for hours together and not be able to solve this problem at all? No. You're not going to get any exam questions of this form. There are several other questions that we need to answer in this area. As I said, we need to learn PDAs. We need to learn CYK algorithm, Chomsky normals form. So there are many other things that we need to accommodate. But before doing that, you should have a hands-on about how these context-free grammars are written. So it's not something that can be totally even automated, students. It really requires a human mind to sit down and think of different possibilities and then draft it down. Understand? Okay. Just another one. Let me give you one more. Give it a try. For those who are finding it initially very difficult, now as you are solving more and more problems, as you can see, I think it gets better and better. So the final answer I would like to grant for this question would be S0 S1 S or S1 S0 S or epsilon. So that would probably handle this question. Answers are already given by our students here. Right. Just go for one more. Now this question is gonna be a bit lengthy, but it's not difficult. So let me tell you this. It's a bit lengthy, but not difficult. Take note of it. So you will have to write possibly many terms. Possibly many terms. Take note of it. Okay? User strings with twice the number of ones as zeros. When they say twice the number of ones as zeros, it means, for example, for every zero, there must be two ones in the string. So for example, let's say I have a string like that, like I have two zeros in a string. The number of ones should be four. So it could be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the string, you have two zeros, but there are four ones. Let's say there are going to be three zeros, which means there should be six ones in the string. So they could be at any position. It could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's say 6. It's not necessary as to where they are going to occur. Twice the number of ones as zeros. Okay, but the place where they're going to occur can be totally dependent on where you want to place them. It could be like something like likewise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, could be like that. So twice the number of ones is zeros. It is not difficult, but it's a bit lengthy. Please take note and then try to do it. Now remember students, not all problems can be solved with the help of context-free grammar or push-down automata. Okay, only certain class of problems can be solved with the help of push-down automata. Problems that cannot be solved with finite automata are usually attempted to be solved with push-down automata. Uh, wow. Okay. So language ed, it's already there. It's just the possible permutations, right? Yes, exactly. Perfect. That's all. That's all. You got it. I hope others are able to do it as well. Please do try. So as I said, as you try more and more, now you know how you're getting these solutions. Okay. Right. Now, there are a class of problems that can be solved only with a PDA, whereas they cannot be solved with the help of finite automata. Let me summarize like why there are problems that cannot be solved with a finite automata and why do we have to learn about context-free grammars or push-down automata. Now, when compared to the problems earlier on while we were doing finite automata versus the ones that we are doing right now, you can see that the length of a string or the pattern of a string is dependent on accumulation, or in other words, you are saving some work and trying to we call improve the results. So you start with a base string and then you expand, wherein whatever work that has been done so far has to be saved in memory. Now, that said, whenever you're doing any recursive problem, even in real time, you will need a lot of stack memory where you want to dump all the so far completed solutions. So you need memory. Whereas in the case of finite automata, what happens is there is an external source of memory that is feeding the input into your system, and then the system just processes one data at a time. So in other words, when we are talking about finite automata students, we are just talking about a system wherein it just processes one unit of data at a time. So the memory can handle only one input at a time. Okay, so you pass in an input, let's say one, it's processed and then it moves forward. Then you process another input, let's say zero, and then you process it, move forward. So there is a unit memory that is going to process the data at any point of time. Whereas this is about, let's say, DFAs. When we come into PDAs, that is wherein we are learning about CFGs, we need quite a lot of memory that can handle all the results that we have completed so far. Even earlier on when you're doing this, right, You can see that you generate the string, you keep on growing. So all the intermediate results have to be saved. Okay. Now that said, not all problems again can be solved with CFGs. We need to proceed further into a higher level state machine diagram that is going to be your Turing machines. Okay. So we will see the nature of problems that cannot be solved with CFGs, and then we'll move further ahead. Okay, right. So finally, one final question. This is going to be your homework. Okay, so that's the question. I think by now many might have actually answered that, but it's okay. We leave it as a homework. Oh my God, Sean, that was. Hey, this is for. Oh, okay, the previous question. Wait a second, I'm just looking at it again. Okay. Right. There'll be a 0 and then yeah, it gets into an epsilon. Right. Very interesting. God. Again, Sean, you're actually giving us wonderful answers today. This is like this style of answering is very. Wait, Ben, that was Ben. Okay, Ben is answering our homework question. It's nice, but I won't tell you whether it's fully correct or wrong for today. But wait, um, I don't know how to explain this, but students, please do pay attention to this answer. Wait, where's Sean's answer? Oh, okay, I thought it disappeared. Please don't delete that answer, Sean. Please let it be there for us, okay? All of you, please look at the chat box there. The answer given by Sean. You know what? It works like in an 8 loop. It's not 100% right answer for that question though, but I'm not bothered. This style of answering, like look at it, it works in kind of an 8 loop. You know what? If you focus carefully, S will imply a B will imply back an S. That style of creating a loop or a recursion will help you to solve certain other problems. There are certain areas where we need this kind of a loop. So do take note of that example. Now, all others, please take note of that example. Uh, the only problem with that answer was if you consider that as an answer for the previous question, twice the number of ones as zeros, which means Hey, am I making a mistake? 110S. Oh my god, that's a complete answer. Good heavens. Please take note of that answer, students. Yeah, it's a complete answer, and the style of answer is having that 8 kind of a loop, which is very interesting. That style of answering will also help in certain areas. So it is totally up to a person's thought process. It's the person's mind that actually helps him to think about it that way. So take note of that answer, everybody. Okay, please do take note. It helps us learn. So seldom do I get this kind of idea where he has created a loop and then it's going to go on forever like an 8, like a direction of an 8. Look at that. Wonderful, Sean. Thanks for that answer. Wait, Lim is answering our homework question as well. So no, I'm not gonna answer that. Okay. So we'll wait until the next class, and then there is one more question for which we need an answer. That is A power n, B power n, C power n. We'll be discussing questions in the next class, not today. Okay. Until then, please don't break your heads to trouble to get answers for this. Keep calm and think. And let me also tell you one more thing. If you ask me, like if you're going to give me a question like that and ask me to solve it, and if let's say you're going to put me under pressure, then oh, sure, Muhammad, I will do that. If you ask me to solve a problem like constraining me with time and then telling like in 2 minutes you need to give us the answer for this what you call context-free grammar. If you're going to tell me that, I definitely won't be able to do it. The nervousness will definitely break me down. I can't do the answer at all. So the idea here is it is not putting us into a challenge of time versus the answer. No, that's not the idea. I want you to understand the recursion principle. Okay, students. So even in the exam, you're not going to get questions like this where an alien question comes up and you have to write a context-free grammar, because we're going to learn something else from here. All right. So yeah, since you asked me, I'll just save this and I will just share it to you. Um, okay. Okay, Muhammad, I have saved it and I have uploaded it here. Most welcome. Okay. So the attendance has been marked, students. I'll see you all in the tutorial session. All right. Take care and have a great day ahead. Thank you,
Right.
students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Sure, can. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much, students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.